Hello friends, today we will discuss from section 52 of the Indian Evidence Act. In civil cases, character to prove conduct imputed is relevant. In civil cases, the fact that the character of any person concerned is such as to render probable or improbable any conduct imputed to him is irrelevant, except insofar as such character appears from facts otherwise relevant. Let us explain this section with the help of one illustration. A businessman is charged with fraud. In this case, no evidence of fact can be treated as relevant which states that he is an honest man. That is, the character is such that he can never commit fraud. Neither can the opposite party present evidence of the fact that A's character had been so trickery that he must committed the fraud. The reasons behind the irrelevance are that a case has to be decided based on the facts of the case and not on the character of the case. The case will be decided on the facts of the particular case and not based upon the character of that particular case. Evidence of conduct does not just delay the proceedings but also hampers and impairs the mind of the judge. In civil cases, previous convictions of the accused person are irrelevant. So, from the illustration that is on your screen, it is very easy to understand the provisions of section 56. In civil cases, the fact that the character of any person concerned is such as to render probable or improbable any conduct imputed to him is irrelevant, except insofar as such character appears from facts otherwise relevant. If that character is relevant in connection with other facts, then it can be considered. Otherwise, the character of a person is irrelevant in any civil case. Now, section 53. It's about criminal case. In criminal cases, previous good character relevant. A slight difference is there. What is that? In criminal case, in criminal proceedings, the fact that the person accused is of a good character is relevant. Bad character in criminal cases are not relevant, but good character is relevant. Let us also understand this section from a Supreme Court observation, where the Honorable Supreme Court held that in criminal proceedings, the character of accused can help in determining the innocence or guilt of the accused. It can help in either making him suspicious or free from all suspicions. Accused is allowed to prove general good character in the question of punishment. So, from this Supreme Court observation in Habib Muhammad versus State of Hyderabad, the provisions of section 53 is very much clear to us. Now, let us move to section 53A, which has been added later through amendment of IPC. Evidence of character or previous sexual experience not relevant in certain cases. In a prosecution for an offence under section 354, 354A, 354B, 354C, 354D, section 376, 376A, 376AB, 376B, 376C, section 376D, section 376DA, section 376DB, or section 376E of the Indian Penal Code or for attempt to commit any such offense where the question of consent is an issue, whether the accused committed any crime punishable which is punishable under these provisions. The consent of the victim is an issue. Evidence of the character of the victim or of such person's previous sexual experience with any person shall not be relevant on the issue of such consent or quality of consent. Let us understand this provision with some exceptions. It's on your screen. There are certain exceptions to this section. When the accused has submitted any evidence of his good character, in such a case to rebut, the prosecution can present evidence pertaining to the bad character of the accused. This is one of the exceptions. Explanation 1 to section 54 provides that when the character is itself a fact in issue, then evidence of bad character can be submitted. When the character is itself is a fact in issue, the evidence of bad character can be submitted. One illustration will be very much helpful for us to understand this section. In a defamation case, the character of the plaintiff becomes a fact in issue. Section 110 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, CRPC, provides that if a person is by habit a robber, a housebreaker, etc., then he is to be bound down. So, section 53A, subject to its exceptions, is clear. These provisions will be more clear when we will discuss some case laws at the end of this session. Now come to section 54. Previous bad character not relevant except in reply. In criminal proceedings, the fact that the accused person has a bad character is irrelevant. Bad character of the accused is irrelevant unless evidence has been given that he has a good character, in which it becomes relevant. What is that? In a criminal case, prosecution cannot lead any evidence to show that the accused is of a bad character. But prosecution will become entitled to lead that evidence that the accused is of a bad character if the accused leads evidence that he is of a good character. If I try to establish my character in a criminal proceedings, if I try to establish my character as a good character, then the prosecution will become entitled to lead evidence against to establish my bad character. Otherwise, prosecution will not be entitled to give any evidence to establish my bad character. Explanation 1. The section does not apply to cases in which the bad character of any person is itself a fact in issue. Where bad character is itself a fact in issue, there this section will not be applied. Explanation number 2. A previous conviction is relevant as evidence of bad character. That I was convicted previously, that can be given into evidence of bad character. Now, one case law of Madras High Court is on your screen. Very interesting case held in 1993. That the characters of both the plaintiff and the defendant were facts in issue, and the court considered evidence of the character of both to decide in the best interest the custody of the children. In a child custody case, the character of the husband and the wife both are in issue, facts in issue. Now, here the court considered evidence of the character of both, because the character of the husband and the character of the wife both are in facts in issue. Yet the court considered the characters of both the parties to decide the case. That means to decide the custody of the children. Next, character as affecting damages. Section 55. In civil cases, the fact that the character of any person is such as to affect the amount of damages which he ought to receive is relevant. Very simple. Listen again. In civil cases, the fact that the character of any person is such as to affect the amount of damages. The character of any person is such as to affect the amount of damages which he ought to receive is relevant. I am of a character of high repute, and you did such defamatory statements against me, against which I filed a suit for damages, that my reputation hampered immensely. Now, in this case, my good character is a question. In civil cases, the fact that the character of any person is such as to affect the amount of damages. What was my status? And after your defamatory statements, what is my status now? In this case, my character is relevant. Explanation. Sections 52, 53, 54 and 55. The word character includes both reputation and disposition, but except as provided in section 54. Evidence may be given only of general reputation and general disposition, and not of particular acts by which reputation or disposition were shown. No particular act cannot be given. Only the reputation or disposition can be shown. I am not entitled to prove how I achieved that reputation or that disposition. The work, the act, that is not relevant. The reputation or disposition only is relevant. Now, before ending today's session, I want to discuss few case laws which are very interesting and will be very helpful to understand this part. Punjab and Haryana High Court in Bharpur Singh case, the court described the scope of sections 52 and 54 of the Indian Evidence Act. This case was filed to resist an action for recovery brought on a promissory note. While deciding the scope of section 52, the court observed that this section refers to a situation where evidence of character is relevant in a civil case. Normally, any evidence of character cannot render the probability or improbability of any conduct and is irrelevant in civil cases. If the character is a fact in issue, then evidence of character is relevant. Section 54 observes that previous bad character can be relevant only in case of rebuttal to good character of evidence when the character is a fact in issue. This observation was made by Punjab and Haryana High Court. Now, another very interesting observation by the Honorable Supreme Court in Sardar Sardul Singh case. This case is referred to as the Empire Conspiracy case. The court answered the question of what is the evidentiary value of character of an accused in a criminal case. It observed that section 53 mentions that the good character of the accused is relevant in cases of criminal nature. In criminal cases, good character is relevant. Section 55 of the Act makes it clear that general reputation and general disposition in criminal cases are relevant. The court also explained that difference between reputation and disposition. It stated that disposition is inherent qualities of a person, whereas reputation is general credit of the person amongst the public. So here you are getting the difference between reputation and disposition. This point is very much important for those who are taking preparation for judicial service exam. A may have a good reputation, but in reality may have a bad disposition. It is possible that a person has good reputation but bad disposition. The value of evidence depends on the cleverness of the person to hide his real traits and the witness's opportunity to observe the accused. The court quoted Wigmore's proposition, which stated that evidence can be used in a doubtful case to tilt in favor of the accused, but it cannot outweigh a piece of evidence which shows the guilt of the accused. Evidence of good character is a weak piece of evidence, but can be used in criminal cases. So today I completed till up to section 55 of the Indian Evidence Act. I will be before you with my next episode from section 56 of Indian Evidence Act. Till then, thank you. Stay blessed.